In almost exactly 12 hours, I will be starting my 16th job in technology in about 23 years. So just doing a quick post here in case you stumble across a video like this where you're about to start a new job and you're having the nerves, and you can check out my other videos on my layoff experience. So you probably, if you have, this is a big deal for me, starting a new job. This will be about 4 months without a job. And, I've done a lot of different things in my career. Been a software engineer hands-on for about 15 years. And then the other 8 years or so were in, like a grab bag of like random tech jobs. I managed a DBA team. I was an IT change manager. I've been an engineering manager. I was a Scrum Master, Agile coach. I've done a lot of different things, and so I've left engineering once before, and went into management, and then left management because I got sick of that and went back into engineering. And then now here I am leaving engineering and going back into management. So the job I'm starting tomorrow is an engineering manager position. So, I'm a job hopper by definition, even though that's a very sort of unwelcome adjective. It's very accurate. And, that's part of why I'm a little nervous. So you might think that, well, after now 16 first jobs in technology, how could I possibly be nervous? And it's really interesting. I've done a lot of introspection over the last 4 months, and what I've realized, maybe you can relate to this, is I've really had a sense of entitlement for years, really since the tech jobs kind of came out of the internet bubble burst and started to recover. And ever since then, it's just been, money growing on trees. The low rates, all the crazy tech job spending. And, we just had it so good. It was sort of a running joke in my family and people who knew me, like, oh yeah, like he's not worried about losing his job because he literally could have one tomorrow. And that was not all that untrue. It was, and so I developed this attitude of they're lucky to have me, right? And I've almost done a 180 from this. Obviously, a lot of us have been rattled by this industry the way it is now, with all the layoffs. And I certainly have been as well. So just realizing that we're not entitled to a damn thing, really. Partly got lucky, right? Just being born when we were born. Have somebody in your life who nudged you towards, I happened to get a good score on my ACT. And people were like, you should go be a mathematician or something. And so I went to college for computer engineering, and that set the whole course of my life. I got lucky. I took advantage of the luck, but it wasn't entitled to, it's not something that I deserve. And that's sort of how I'm feeling about this job. It feels almost like I'm starting the second half of my career tomorrow. I'm a little out of breath because I'm also out of shape. So yeah, I want to do a good job. I have this, I kind of want to flex this newfound humility. I used to go in to companies, and because I was very well studied and experienced in the ways of modern software development practices. And so I would go into companies and I would basically, essentially sort of stand at my pulpit, and I'd have my Dora metrics, and I'd have my Agile Manifesto, and have my Scrum Guide and all my credentials, and I would stand at the pulpit and preach the gospel. And, when you're in your little echo chamber circles, that is a good feeling, right? Because everyone's cheering you on. Everyone's, like they don't know what they're doing. Waterfall sucks. And the thing is, when you go into a company and you have a job to do, they're not hiring you to be a change agent. And even if you adopt that mentality to go in and make change happen, which is good, you have to earn, right? You have to earn that trust. You can't just stand up there with your street cred and expect people to listen to you just because. So I have this new kind of way of thinking about the job. And so why am I going back into management is because I kind of want do-overs. I want to try again to be an actual good leader. I'd get high marks for the people side of things. People enjoyed working with me. But my bosses, once you get into management, you start reporting to directors and VPs and the C-level. They really care more and more and more about results as you move up. And, that's talking, for better or worse, when talking about software development, that's oftentimes predictability. So the ability to kind of make a commitment on a delivery and meet that commitment. Things that have been a real challenge for many of us in the industry. So I want to actually learn and actually contribute to bridging that gap for a business. So, that's one reason I'm nervous, because, and obviously I can't just screw this up and have a laissez-faire attitude and just go and grab a new job in a few weeks. I was lucky. I'll talk about another video of how I found this job. It was some luck, but it was also years of building a network. And, luck, the LinkedIn algorithm happened to show my posts to the right person. And I don't, many people are 6+ months, 12 months. So just having this feeling of gratitude as well. Being one of the lucky ones to have found employment before anything really drastic financially had to happen. I've been seeing posts about people losing their jobs or losing their homes with, families, and having to couch surf. People with 10 years experience in software development or design, or, so in the tech field. So it's real, and I don't want to mess it up. And so that's part of one reason how I'm feeling going into this. But the second thing I wanted to talk about with starting a new job that I ran into is I noticed when I was actually out there looking for software engineering jobs and actually was able to get a couple of interviews, like first round interviews, I wasn't feeling it. I love coding. I love engineering. But it felt like, that the Sunday scaries type of a feeling like I have right now, because I'm starting a new job tomorrow. But that feeling like, man, do I really want to go, and I got to go and learn a new code base, and I got to build rapport with a new team, and, I got to start, plugging in and delivering. And it just sounded, I couldn't get excited about it. And it got like, it wasn't even like I couldn't get excited. It was like I was actually dreading it. And so I started looking at engineering manager positions again. And I was actually kind of like getting kind of excited about it. I could see myself in that position again. Because when I got out of it the last time, it was for lots of reasons, and some of them kind of personal. Because when you're, if you're a leader, you kind of got to have your shit together too, as a person. And I kind of went through a phase, which I can talk about, but it gets a little personal. But I went through a phase where I really didn't have my act together, and I didn't feel like I was equipped to be a leader when I just didn't feel like I was the leader that I could be. And, this time around, I feel like I kind of talked about it in another video, but I've kind of really found my chill. I've done a lot of healing, but really my point is, the energy that you're gonna bring to your job search and to the interview, and then if you do get, subsequent interviews, and to the job itself when you take the job, it's gonna come through. I mean, you can sort of fake it, but especially if you've been doing all this interviewing and you're tired and you're feeling defeated, if it's also for a position that you just can't get really fired up for. Now I know, I'm standing in a position of privilege because I could say that, I had some options, but it was getting to where I thought maybe I don't have options. I might be looking at working at the local IGA here to pick up some money, right? So we're all going to do what we need to do to bring money in and fund our life. But to the extent that you're able to find that energy, because that came out so strong. I just noticed it when I took my first interview for an engineering manager position. I was fired up about it, and I prepped for I put a lot of effort into the interview process, and it just, all that preparation kind of came through. I ended up getting 3 job offers in 1 week, and I hope I'm not bragging about that in any way. I want to help other people through this. So what got me those jobs was the energy that I brought, and I was able to connect the dots for them between my skill set and what they were looking for. So to the extent possible, you should think about doing the same. And if you are employed currently, you're worried about layoffs, or you're worried about the industry, or you're worried about AI, I have a lot of opinions and thoughts on that I'm going to share in the future. Bring that energy to your current job, and you're going to see some results, I think, from that. So that's kind of all I had to say about it. If you're struggling out in the market, I just wish you luck. Just know that there's a lot of people out there like you who are also struggling. Get out there, share your story. I won't say stay positive. I think there's actually a fair amount of the toxic positivity out there. I think we need to be real, and it's okay to share our stories and our frustrations, but ultimately we need employment. We want to secure our futures for ourselves and our family. We need to fund our lives, and you do need to have an action for a bias for action in this time right now. So anyway, thanks for listening this far. Hope you're doing well. Thank you.